Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Virtually Sunday, a ministry of Whatsoever You Do Incorporated. I'm the Reverend Bridget Flad Daniels, the senior pastor of Union Congregational United Church of Christ in downtown Green Bay. These days, division isn't hard to find. You can spot it in politics, obviously, in families, definitely in social media. We've reached the point where people will argue about anything. Pineapple on pizza, the Oxford comma, or whether water is actually wet. Some folks have even said that we haven't been this divided since the Civil War. And I don't think they're wrong. Most of the time I'm hesitant to use hyperbole like that because we tend to get dramatic in the present. It's sort of like when you stub your toe and you're convinced that you'll never be able to walk again. But right now, this is a divided time. And then into this climate, this week's gospel tells us that Jesus says in Luke, "Do you think that I came to bring peace? No, I came to bring division." What? This is the same Jesus that we call the Prince of Peace. The same Jesus who, after the travesty of injustice, which was the crucifixion, greets his friends with the words, "Peace I leave you, peace I give to you." And here we're hearing him say that he came to divide. It just doesn't sound right. Surely Jesus did not mean the kind of division that we see in hate crimes or in a Facebook comment section. For Jesus, division isn't about tearing people apart for sport. It's about the kind of separation that happens when following Jesus puts you at odds with the status quo. Think about someone whose family motto is basically "don't rock the boat," but their faith compels them to speak out for justice. When Jesus says, "I came to divide," maybe that's good news for them. Or think about the LGBTQ person who has stayed closeted to keep family peace. Sometimes telling the truth about who you are divides. But Jesus' core values, healing, freeing, speaking truth to power, those are more important than keeping everyone comfortable. Or think about someone in recovery from addiction. Families, often without meaning to, resist change. Recovery can mean dividing us from the old patterns and even old relationships that in order to find freedom. It's kind of like spring cleaning for the soul. You have to get rid of some things, even if Aunt Mildred tells you that they're heirlooms. In the letter to the Hebrews, we hear about heroes of faith, some who triumphed and some who suffered and died for their convictions. Even Jesus himself was executed by the state for standing up to unjust powers. Following him doesn't always lead to applause. It sometimes leads to hard, costly division. But here's the hope. If you're breaking from unhealthy systems, if you're stepping into truth, justice, or healing, if you're walking away from appearances and toward grace, this gospel is for you. And so our homework this week is rather simple, but maybe harder than it looks at first. If you're facing division, and quite frankly, I can't imagine someone who's not right now, allow Jesus' words to wash over you like a balm. This division that you're experiencing is actually sacred. It's holy. And it's a sign that you're not just picking the parts of the gospel that are easy and sunshiny. Bathe yourself in the reassurance that division is sometimes a sacred tool. and let that rejuvenate and replenish you. Friends, my prayer for you this week is that the good news that sometimes division is God's way of setting us free will bring you God's peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding. May it be so. Alleluia and amen.